Next up on the menu, we have Adrian Broner and Deen the Great's dynamic duo is falling apart. Who could have saw that coming, man? Shocker. Not really. They've always like been like abrasive towards each other. I don't know. It's not like, you know, if you are a male with male friends where you just make fun of each other and it's all laughs and goofs and gaffs. It's more like how the friend acts when you get in front of girls, except Adrian Broner always acts like that. And it's just cringe. It kills the vibe. Always trying to little bro Deen, always trying to, you know, just make it seem like just trying to bitch Deen. That's basically what it comes across, and I don't really understand how people watch this, but hey, to each their own. Let's get about the video. Talk to me.
Got with all that,
keep playing with me.
Stop disrespecting me, nigga.
No, you just
me. You is though. Damn, I got come on, don't do nothing. You popping it at me like
Whoa, I'm not gonna lie. This fight seems a little bit different than the other one. They look like they actually wanted to tussle a little bit. It looks like the dynamic duo that was supposed to be having the best summer of a lifetime, taking over the internet by storm in the streaming industry, is ending faster than it started. Now, we can't act as if Deen the Great and Adrian Broner haven't had fights on stream at different points in their short careers.
You keep bringing up Kai. Now, man. Let's go upstairs, bro.
My friend.
Let's go upstairs. Let's go upstairs, bro.
Beat up in front of the camera, bro.
You want to get busy, bro?
Stop playing, bro.
Huh?
Just pay the bread.
Do you want to get busy?
Pay the bread, bro.
Do you want to get
Pay me
busy?
my money, nigga.
Do you really want to do that?
Stop, bro. I'm helping you. Stop me, guys.
And for what it's worth,
This is a reoccurring thing. I really don't see how you can have someone like this around you at all times. It just fucking seems tiring at some point. Because like, why in the fuck are we fighting like a married couple every fucking interaction? That shit is just long, man.
I would acknowledge that, you know, people who are friends, people who are in relationships typically do get into spitting matches.
Most definitely,
often. But
yeah.
this time it felt a little bit different. This time it felt like Adrian Broner wanted to place hands on Deen the Great. This time,
and people that are friends and partners don't get into spitting matches that frequently. That shit's crazy.
Felt like all of the pent-up aggression through their toxic and tumultuous relationship that has been broadcasted on stream had finally come to a head. If you're new to this and you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. It's gonna go a long way for the channel. Don't make me have to Adrian Broner you. Hit the subscribe button now. Back into the video. Now, I don't have to tell you this, but Adrian Broner and Deen the Great's content has always been toxic. And not just how they handle the women, not just how they handle the money, not just how they handle the alcohol, but honestly, how they handle each other. It's been full of moments that have been disrespectful, boundary pushing, over the top and chaotic, but when you add those other factors into it, it seems as though, at least at the end of every other stream, they're always at blows. This fight felt like Adrian Broner was about to put pause on Deen the Great. And I'm not the only one who feels that is different. You can see in the faces and the way that the others around them react to the situation, you can tell that there's an energy shift that is not normal when these two get into some sort of argument. And usually Deen, who is the more sober one, backs away from these situations, but when he stepped back up to Adrian Broner, I really thought to myself, oh, about to get a pay-per-view fight.
I'm disrespecting me, nigga.
No, you just
me. You is though.
Where they at? What up?
Pop it in though.
This wasn't just Adrian Broner going wild and crazy while everyone was laughing at him. This was two egos boosted by alcohol, clout, and money and fame colliding in front of everybody. AB, the former boxer who feels like everybody should respect him in his presence, and then Deen the Great, the streamer who helped Adrian Broner back into the spotlight and clearly doesn't feel like he should be treated like some sort of sidekick. This fight matters because it exposed the real problem with their dynamic. The chaos that made them entertaining is now starting to damage their relationship. But this fight didn't come out of nowhere. Before Deen even walked up, Adrian was already spiraling. The reason this whole situation happened, and it's something that I would use to describe the entire Adrian Broner streaming experience, was both comical and sad. Adrian Broner was visibly drunk, like clear as day, sloppy. So sloppy, in fact, that his friend had to cut him off. Had to cut him off from the bar, tip the bartender, tell them not to give AB any more drinks, and the way that he had even lured AB back to the vehicle is because he said that there wasn't any more alcohol here, so let's go into the car and I've got alcohol for you. It's like a kid with a piece of candy. That's just embarrassing.
That shit is fucking sad as fuck, man. That's why alcohol is just like something that I've never been, you know, really too fancy with. But like, if you don't know, my family has a long line of alcoholics. I've tried alcohol before. That shit's disgusting. Tastes like motor oil and fucking battery acid. That shit is ass. But I do like wine here and there. Seeing people get shit-faced once or twice is funny. Occasionally. This nigga AB is always fucking shit-faced, and it's very annoying because, like, a drunk nigga that's always drunk, aka a drunkard, it's just never fun to be around because they're unpredictable. They're unpredictable. It's just long, man. It's not something that you would want to, you know, surround yourself with at all.
Two shot right here. Ain't no more shots, bro. Come on, I got you. I got a shot. Come on. I got a shot in the car. Come on. Look at you. How you gonna do anything like that? How you gonna do anything like that? You moving? Well, you I'm just saying though. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Get it together, nigga. Can't move like that. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man, you gotta get some water or something.
I think this was a foreshadowing of his friends letting us know where this night was going to end with Adrian Broner. Look at how he's stammering through this bar or restaurant. He's bumping into people. His face looks totally faded. He looks gone from reality, and he has no full control over what his actions are. And I know most of us have been in a situation like this, and especially as somebody who is a sober person, I've definitely seen this before. Now we're outside yelling, screaming at security guards, yelling at women, totally embarrassing people. It's going wild. It's going left, quick, fast, in a hurry.
But I get on your ass too. Your ass too.
As everybody tries to hurry AB into a car to get him away from this whole situation. Before Deen the Great even confronts Adrian Broner is leaving a mess everywhere that he walks this specific night. Mind you, anything that Adrian does is always gonna get tied back to Deen the Great. And this is where Deen the Great steps in and things go left from here.
Hey, y'all go with Deen. But I killed him.
Hey, chill.
Get off of me, man.
Chill out.
Go with Deen.
Chill out. Hold on. What's he talking? What's going on, Kev?
What you doing? I'm not playing. Come on, man. I'm not playing, bro.
See, and this is why at my ripe old age, I don't deal with people who are excessive drinkers. Hell, I don't really deal with people that drink at all, because this is just tiring to even watch. For no apparent reason, Adrian Broner snaps on anybody and everybody in his eye shot. He's screaming at the security guards. He's screaming at the cameraman. He's screaming at people that are actually there trying to help him into the next place in space before he gets arrested by the police that are on this street. And so naturally, when Deen the Great gets into his eye shot, he turns the tides on him. He starts going off in an insane manner that is not just incoherent, but it's also disrespectful. And I feel Deen in this type of situation. I'm glad that he stood up for himself, but also he needs to acknowledge this monster was created by him. As a famous ex-boxer, Adrian Broner is used to people just folding. One, because he's paying them. Two, because he can truly beat the brakes off of 98% of people. But that's why this moment felt so different to me for two reasons. One, Deen would do some sort of folding, generally speaking, but this time he stood his ground. And then two, Adrian Broner's not just yelling at some randeezy, somebody that he hired and therefore can fire and replace in a matter of days. He's yelling at the person who put him in this situation, you know, put him in the forefront, made him relevant again, put money back in his pockets through streaming. And now he's willing to even disrespect him, showing the lack of control that he has for any and everybody. And I think this is why pattern recognition is so important. It'd be different if this was a one-off instance, but if you look at the totality of this relationship, there have been numerous, and I do mean numerous times, in which this partnership has been tested and tried due to the alcohol, the money, the women, the fame, all these different things.
Pay the for the camera, bro. You want to get busy, bro?
Stop playing, bro. Just pay the bread.
Do you want to get busy?
Pay the bread, bro.
Do you want to get
Pay
busy?
me my money, nigga.
Huh?
Bro.
Nigga,
Just pay my bread.
let's go
Now,
get
that's what-
busy. Drink, let's go, bro.
Let's go. Get too drunk. Let's go.
Yeah.
AB doesn't truly respect Deen. We all can see that. It's plain as day. Drunk actions are sober thoughts, you know what I mean? So he does not really respect Deen like that. He really don't. He's just taking advantage of the situation of him having free money, free clout, free everything. That's what this is. He's milking the situation. He doesn't have true respect for Deen, because if he did, he wouldn't be acting this way, even if he is drunk, and he wouldn't be, you know, trying to constantly bitch and little boy Deen the Great. It just wouldn't be happening if he truly respected him.
as a real street nigga, you're not gonna keep talking to me like that. Now, some of you may be thinking, is this one long and continuous fight? Some of you may be thinking, man, AB continues to get close in Deen's face. I'm thinking to myself, boy, his breath must smell like doo-doo. But I think the grander picture here is that in all of these situations and circumstances, two things continuously stand out. One, Adrian Broner always feels like he's challenged for some reason, and I think that shows his ego and it speaks to, you know, who he is as a person or an individual, especially when somebody's just giving him good advice or saying that maybe you should not drink or gamble with these types of people because they will pew you. And the second and most important, you never see Deen the Great start any of these sorts of altercations or arguments. The only thing that Deen ever really says in any of these instances is, hey, let's try not to drink. Hey, let's be a little less rowdy. Hey, you're making these people uncomfortable around you, so maybe we should tone down what we're doing. And for whatever reason, Adrian Broner every single time finds this as some sort of disrespect or challenge to his manhood, to the tune of taking it to another level, to the tune of wanting to actually get in Deen the Great's face, to the tune of what we saw this other night, potentially putting hands on Deen the Great. And you would think that somebody like an Adrian Broner would do a better job of being appreciative of somebody like Deen the Great, who literally changed and saved his life.
Like a month ago, I wouldn't talk about it. It was like, well, forget about it. Then my brother called me from under the rock, and now we the biggest streamers of the world. The biggest! Flatter me, and from the first stream, we just been going up, and he changed my life, bro. My nigga back on his feet, I'm back clean, like I'm getting haircuts and fresh outfits again, like so.
But you see, I feel like that's what makes that whole money argument that they were having earlier so much more interesting and so sad at the same time. The relationship is not just two friends making funny content. There is a real struggle underneath it all. Adrian Broner started this whole streaming run very, very humble. But the more attention that he got, the more his old life, old arrogance, and old bravado came back. That's why every time I can't consume these argumentative fighting clips as some one-offs. This isn't some one-time misunderstanding. This is Adrian Broner reminding the world, reminding Deen the Great, and reminding even his doubters who he truly is.
You bigger than the program. Who think they bigger than the program? A program, gang. I never cared about a program.
That's your problem, though.
I am the problem. Look it up. I've been the problem since I came out, bro.
People kind of forget that Adrian Broner was at the peak of boxing, not just because he had a phenomenal record, but also because he had one of the biggest and best cosigns of all time. He was tied to Floyd Mayweather, the biggest boxer of my generation. Could you imagine having a mentorship / relationship with the biggest and best in that specific field that you are getting mentored in during that time? I think people would literally do anything to be in that situation. I know for a fact they wouldn't squander it, but we're talking about Adrian Broner here. You see, Floyd Mayweather is not just some random critic. Outside of him being the biggest boxer in the world at the time, he was also somebody who was pouring life and wisdom into Adrian Broner. He was somebody who was uplifting him, guiding him, and molding him to be the next Floyd Mayweather. But all of the antics, all of the bravado, all of the arrogance that was displayed out in public, especially when it's not tied to an elite work ethic, started to get underneath Floyd Mayweather's skin, to the tune of him giving what I would consider some slight criticism about how Adrian Broner gave a technical knockout to another fighter. Literally all Floyd did was criticize how Adrian Broner went about this fight and what he could have done better. And do you think that Adrian Broner took that the best? Absolutely not. It's AB that we're talking about.
Whereas Adrian Broner, you know, we had talks before in the past, and I love him. And he's going to be world champion again. I'm always, you know, preaching to Adrian Broner and telling him, you know, the same guys that you beat early on in your career is not the same guys that you're going to face when you get to a certain level or when you get to a certain status.
And this is why those parallels between how Adrian Broner dealt with Floyd Mayweather and how Adrian Broner is dealing with Deen the Great are so similar. Post being called out, Adrian Broner in his next fight takes to the ring to do something most people would say is stupid. But tell me if you see a pattern here.
But y'all probably know about this. Somebody that I look up to, somebody that I admire, took the chance to do an interview and just talk all bad about me. I'm a man that learns shit from physical activity, so me and Floyd, he gotta see me. He gotta see me.
Now, naturally, the two never fought because this would be a ridiculous fight to take, but I do think that exposes and foreshadows the future of an Adrian Broner. Now, I'm not saying that you always gotta be this person
biting the hand that feeds you. And it's not just like, he's not standing up for himself. Let's not get this twisted. Standing up for yourself would be like, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that makes sense. I could have did that better. But boom, bam, bop. I feel this way. The reason why I did that is because of this and this. And that's just how I feel. That's just to say I'm going to do better. I'm going to move better. But that is how I feel. And I am going to stand on that. You know what I mean? No, what he did was just totally like disrespect. Like, you know what I mean? Your mentor, you're saying like, oh, he talked all bad about me. He whatever, even though he didn't talk all bad about you. And then now you want to fight him. Now you want to, you know, show him that you're better than him. Shit like that.
Person who is humble in the face of disrespect. But for what it's worth, I think, you know, in this interview, Floyd Mayweather was pretty tame in his criticism. Kind of like when Deen the Great tells Adrian Broner, let's just stop drinking. And for what it's worth, I do think that Adrian Broner does blow things out of proportion. Kind of like when he gets in the face of a Deen the Great and disrespects him, spits on him, and all this other stuff like that. So we're establishing this pattern here. Adrian Broner is at the bottom, like he said, eating cornflakes and water, coming from nothing. In the Deen the Great case, he was nothing from his boxing career. A person who was getting humiliated left, right, and sideways on social media. It's this person that comes and uplifts them out of the situation that he's in. And if that person then gives them a little bit of criticism, then ultimately Adrian Broner feels attacked and feels the need to be disrespected. The only difference between how Adrian Broner treated Floyd Mayweather in his call out and Deen the Great in his call out is there's no alcohol involved. Adrian Broner's problem is not that people never help him. The problem is what happens after the people help him. Once he feels up again, he starts acting like he does not need the people who helped him get there. But this is something that Adrian Broner has to be weary of. Deen the Great keeps forgiving him. Floyd Mayweather did not. And we'll see how it plays into the future. For what it's worth, I do think Adrian Broner and Deen the Great will make up. And the reason is simple. The partnership still benefits the both of them. Just as much as Adrian Broner is seeing extremely high views and monetary success on Kick, so is Deen the Great. Make no mistake in that situation. Adrian gets the money, the relevance, the viral clips, access to younger streamers, and enough to trick off on women and drink alcohol. Deen gets the content, the attention, the chaotic co-star, and for what it's worth, he no longer has to be the butt of the jokes like he was a couple months ago with Rampage Jackson and Larry Wheels. But the problem is that not just in the content sense, Adrian Broner in and of itself is a little too unpredictable. And the only reason why I say too unpredictable is because he continues to go on these same cycles every single time. The drinking, the arguments, women, disrespect, crash out, all for the viral clips. And then he's gonna divert back to this whole humble gimmick. I want to grow. I want to be this, that, and the third and the fourth, just for him to get that brown liquor back into his system and go crazy again. This is why this duo, this dynamic duo, is so dangerous in the first place. But what Adrian Broner doesn't understand in all of this is that at some point, people do have a breaking point. Floyd Mayweather's breaking point was a little bit earlier in their relationship. Why? Because he was already making millions of dollars boxing. He didn't necessarily need to have an Adrian Broner underneath his belt. It wouldn't have affected his bottom line in the slightest. Before Deen the Great, who does, you know, need an Adrian Broner, he can continue to push those boundaries, at least for now. What's gonna happen when Deen the Great makes a name for himself in streaming outside of his Adrian Broner collaborations? What's gonna happen when he finds a new partner? What's gonna happen when he just ultimately gets fed up with the disrespect? The person that's gonna get thrown to the side is not gonna be Deen the Great. He'll go off into whatever path he walks, but it's Adrian Broner. And when left to his own vices, we know how that's played out in the past. Hopefully.
Yep. It's a self-repeating cycle. When you don't change first what's within, even if you do something different, a cycle will repeat of you just, you know, fucking it up or whatever your unique cycle is. That's why you must change inwardly before you can experience true change externally. With all that being said, you guys let me know what you think about this AB Deen the Great situation. Tell me what if you have any experiences with drunkies, I guess, because that seems relevant to this video. Thanks for watching. Binge the rest of the videos on my channel. Have a better day than me.